Okay, so today I want to talk about my time using a flip phone and owning a flip phone. I owned this Rocket phone. It was a good $75 flip phone for around 3 months, so from December to the end of February. And unfortunately, it did break. So it broke just last month. It was $75, so it broke randomly. It died one day and it just never turned back on. So I'm guessing it had something to do with the battery right there. You can pop it in and out. Uh, yeah, it's definitely not as durable as you would think. But yeah, it just randomly broke and it was just it was kind of a bummer because I'd have to say like I definitely enjoyed having like a shitty piece of like technology in my pocket all the time. And I think a big part of me thinks that it's healthier for me to carry around a flip phone rather than a smartphone. I made some pros and cons of owning a flip phone and some pros and cons of owning a smartphone. Because, yeah, after I broke the flip phone, I got this smartphone here, which it's pretty, again, amazing. So amazing. This is a great piece of technology. But yeah, I've had that for the last 3 weeks, and I've kind of just felt the differences, like especially when I'm leaving the house, but honestly everywhere. If I'm in the house as well, the differences with how I don't know how this phone kind of affects my like actions and how it affects the things I do during the day. So okay, so first we'll talk about the pros and cons of this flip phone. So the first pro of owning a flip phone is that automatically you're going to be way less distracted. So this flip phone has nothing on it. It had nothing on it. It had texting. You could text with the keypad here. It had phone calls. It had a camera. It could take videos. It could play music, but you would have to download it, and I never did that. It's got a little headphone jack right there. But yeah, so there's no distraction on this thing because you're carrying around a brick. It's just straight up a brick, and so whether you're doing work or you're going outside, your brain doesn't really have something to go to. Like you can kind of just fucking meander around without I don't know having some sort of pull to pull something out of your pocket or to search something up. It's like you can't do any of that. So less distracted for sure. And because you're less distracted, you kind of feel like you have more time in the day. Like being on your phone with the amount of shit that it's like on there, it sucks up a lot of your time. And I find that like it also acts as like a soother. Like when we'll get into that later actually. That's the pros and cons of the phone. Let's take on the flip phone. The flip phone, yeah, you just have more time in your day. There's not much to I don't know, just like distract you, like I said earlier. So if you're outside, you're at school, you're able to focus on the things that you want to like prioritize, and there's not something like looming over here. It's like, oh, like check that or check this. Kind of stay on task a bit more. Another thing, like another pro, is it's low key like this is an aesthetic piece of like technology. All right. Very rarely do you see somebody walking around with a flip phone, and people will comment about it. And I was kind of worried about like that initially because I was thinking that, oh, so this guy owns a flip phone. It's like that's I don't know, that's fucking I don't know how people would react because I've never seen it. So it's just like either people would be like that's cool, or it's just like, oh, this guy's low key like I don't know, it's kind of weird, you know. But I'd have to say it was definitely like the former. So people were always making comments on it, and it was usually all positive and just like I get a couple of dab ups or some shit like that. So yeah, not a bad thing at all. So aesthetically and socially, nobody gives a fuck, man. Nobody cares. You can get this, and people just are they take note of it. They think it's like interesting, and then you move on. And you might be known as a flip phone guy, as in like, oh, that's the fucking guy with the flip phone. but it's not that deep unless you don't want that reputation. It's not a bad reputation, but you could be a little bit cornballish. Another pro is that this is cheap. So I could probably buy 10 flip phones for the price of like a Samsung, or I could buy 20 flip phones for the price of an Apple. So this is cheap, it's affordable, and it does the bare minimum. So it does exactly what you at least want from a phone, which is texting and calls. Now the cons is that it only does the bare minimum, and it does them pretty bad. So like like texting, not easy. Not easy. Sucks. So bad at text. Like you can't write shit on here. Takes you like 3 minutes to write maybe a sentence with like 8 words. It has emojis. That's nice. It has voice memos. You can send voice memos, but it is not convenient. Communication is not convenient on here. Um, you might have to get more into phone calls if you end up getting a flip phone, because it's just you're gonna want to, because texting is just such a hassle. Um, Another con is this shit breaks randomly. The battery stopped working, it's fucking done. Like luckily it's cheap, so you can, if you wanted to, you could buy another. But this just randomly stopped turning on one day. So yeah, that's kind of weird. Another con is yeah, music. If music is a big part of your life or a part of what you like, yeah, you don't get it. Yeah, so music, you're not gonna get that much of it. So that I don't, I wouldn't say it negatively impacted my day-to-day life so much, but now that I'm back on music, I realize how much I do enjoy it. So it yeah, it's just it's not that accessible with a flip phone. And I guess another con is it's not the flip phone is not going to entertain you. And maybe for the first bit, it was pretty entertaining for the first couple of weeks because I was just like, holy shit! It's like I had to learn how to text. I was taking videos and photos, so it was actually a lot of fun. But yeah, this thing has no dopamine, zero dopamine, and that could also be seen as a pro because the dopamine detox I think is real with this. The no distraction, your dopamine is going to be able to kind of reset. And I don't know, it's not like it's not like I really noticed how like, oh, I'm feeling more dopamine right now. But it has made music more enjoyable. I think right now I'm enjoying music a lot more than I did before because I took such a break from it. So it's like little things like that. So those are the pros and the cons of the flip phone. Um, Now we're going to talk about pros and cons of a smartphone and kind of like contrast it. So they're pretty much just completely like reciprocal, or yeah, they're the complete opposite of the flip phone. So the pros, this thing is like so entertaining. Like it's crazy how like you can just do so much on here. Like there's games, there's YouTube, there's media, there's movies, TV shows. Um, like you have everything you could ever want to just in your free time to relax, to just have some fun. You can do this on that phone, on this phone, on any like smartphone. So it's massively entertaining, and you can spend like an entire day on your phone, and it'd be enjoyable. It might feel like shit, but there's gonna be a lot of dopamine involved. So yeah, there's games and music. You can literally search up anything. It's so accessible, it's so easy, and it's so convenient. In terms of technology, this thing is like there's no downsides. The technology is like perfect. And it's like yeah, it's pretty hard not to get completely like attached to this because it hits a part of your brain that just wants more and wants more of it. And that kind of leads to the cons of having a smartphone. It's like almost too much of a good thing. There's too much going on this, and because of that, it's a massive distraction. So it may be a part of your daily routine to go on YouTube, to go on social media and scroll or whatever. But yeah, when you're in it, it doesn't, you're in it. you don't really notice as much, but being away from it and then coming back, like I realized like, oh my God, I just spent like the last fucking like hour on YouTube where I just played this game for 2 hours alone. And it's like I didn't have that before. And it's not to say that I was doing more productive shit. I mean, I kind of was with the flip phone. I was doing a wider like array of things. I was reading, maybe doing some hobbies. This thing could suck up all your time, so you don't really have time to do all the other shit. It's a soother also. Having a flip phone, you get attached, or having a smartphone, you get attached to it, and you don't want to do. I don't know. It just acts as like a comfort if you feel in your back pocket or you feel in your hand. I'm holding in my hand right now still, and it's comforting. If you're feeling like anxious, it can act as an escape. You just go on your phone, scroll, watch a movie, and then instantly, you're away from whatever you want to be away from. So it is literally a soother. This is a modern day soother for grown people. And another con here is that it keeps your mind busy. It's hard to slow down when you have like a smartphone on you because when you're in transitionary like times, let's say during the day, let's say I want to, I'm gonna catch the bus. All right, I have to go back home. Um, that could be a time you just sitting down and just like kind of letting your body decompress from like, man, I've just fucking done all this work. I've done all this shit. Just kind of, your body needs to just relax and going. But let's say you're on the bus. If you have this on you, like your brain is gonna want to grab this just instinctively, because it's a source of dopamine. Your body loves dopamine. It's a bear with honey. This shit's fucking like this shit is good. Nobody dislikes that. But yeah, it just doesn't really leave time for decompressing. And I think that can just keep your brain going and you don't really get to fully relax until you're like looking to fall asleep in bed. So yeah, that's kind of it really. Those are kind of the contrast between this and this. Um, I think if anybody's interested in getting a flip phone, I would, or just any sort of thing that's not a smartphone, I'd recommend it. Just from my 3 months of owning one, I think in the future I will get another. Um, it's just you got to think about your situation because in the next like 8 months or so, I'm gonna have to I need a smartphone. I do need a smartphone for communication, just because it's more convenient. But if you're in a situation where it's like, man, it doesn't really matter. Like, I don't need a smartphone right now. Um, you can get by on a flip phone. And if you do get it and you like, man, this fucking sucks. Like, it's so bad. Um, yeah, just go back. Like $75. You can get ones for cheaper on Amazon. 50 bones. All right, try it out for like try it out for a week. If it's no good, then it's no good. And then it's like it's not for you. But maybe you'll realize it impacts your life in a positive way. And then maybe you would want to stay with it. So, yeah. So I think personally, I'll eventually get back to it. Uh, it's just a list of priorities right now that I have to kind of put before my constant consumption and dopamine levels. So yeah, I hope this kind of is informative if you're thinking about getting one. And then who cares, like yeah, and I just recommend it. Like just go for it. All right.